All right, guys, how are we doing today? This is Cobra Trading for TCP Media, and I wanted to come on and do some altcoin analysis today. Like I said, this week, I'm trying to get a video out. From now on, I'm trying to get a video out, at least one every single day. But like I said, I'm going to try and stick to Bitcoin analysis once or maybe twice a week. Twice if there seems to be a lot of price action. So today I'm going to be going over some altcoins. They're listed in the description below. And then I've got one extra coin that I'm also going to be doing as well. So right now I want to start with the TRIG coin. This is TRIG paired with BTC on the 4-hour chart on Binance. So let me go ahead and put some of my indicators on here. TRIG has been doing very well since we had this little Vegas wave, right here, and that was a very significant uptrend. We got extremely oversold, and we retraced almost 100% off of that. That run started here, so it looks like we retraced about maybe 86% or so off of that. So this is everything that I have on the TRIG coin right now, and I went ahead and measured from the last big upswing to downswing that we had. And if you notice over here to the left, let me go ahead and turn the volume on. Go ahead and turn this on. If you notice here, we came up finally. And we finally broke through the 618, this little golden zone right here. But we're having trouble kind of staying beyond that right now. We had this huge, kind of bearish candle right here, actually, with a really long wick up. We touched the 786, and we're coming back down now for a retracement. In our group, we had made an entry in the mid 300s, somewhere around here. And so far, this has been doing really well. For right now, I see this coin coming down to do a retrace to kind of use this this golden zone as a support here, between like 350 and 360 area. And then I still see us coming back up for more. Most of the reason why is I see this stotch here, and I know that as we retrace this green line right here, which represents the the K fast line, that's going to tip over, and it's going to do one of these numbers. We're going to get a sharp decline, and it's going to correct a little bit, similar to here, just like we have on the way up. It's going to correct like this, or like this, or like this, and then we're going to continue back up. That tells me that this still has plenty of room to go up, because as that happens, the RSI is also going to start resetting itself back to, right in the middle level here between, like 45 and 50-ish. So I really see this coming back up again, certainly for more. Our targets to complete wave 5, I have this as a ABC correction down from this impulse wave. This was, like a 5-wave structure here. Being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the impulse, and then we had our ABC correction down. This is a pretty easy count to do, at least at this moment in time. And then, we're starting our next 5-wave sequence up. So we had this first wave corrected down for 2. We had this very elongated third wave up where we tested the 786, which is a very good ratio for this. Between the 236 and the 786, that's a very solid and standard ratio for that. And I see us correcting back down, like I said, down into this golden zone, kind of using that as support as we are now. This candle opened up right on the 6.5, and I really just see us coming back up to, hopefully test about 400. That would be my first target with this. Beyond that, I mean, I maybe see a 500 target. If we really wanted to go higher than our last previous high, I think, like a 450 to a 500 target, I think that would be pretty acceptable. But obviously, we would be ebbing and swaying in between there as we go. So that's where I stand with TRIG right now. Oh, one of the other things I want to show you with this was, let me go ahead and put these on. So right here, after this little Vegas wave, this huge pop up and correction back down that we have, that was where our 200 exponential moving average had crossed to act as support on the bottom. So this is going to be in general very bullish. until, you know, something ends up happening, you know, maybe it breaks or something if there's some news or whatever. But for right now, this is definitely a generally very bullish sign, considering that this lighter line, that's my 55 EMA, is also acting as support on the bottom. So that's a very, very solid sign. So moving on here, we're going to go and take a look at Zcash. So what I had drawn here on Zcash is we had, you know, just a classic, you know, another Vegas wave. All these altcoins have been doing these crazy down and up trends or up and down trends like this lately. And then this, to me, is manipulation right here. That I see as a manipulated, highly manipulated candle. Once in a while we get things like that. It's not very often though. Sometimes we'll get a long wick up or a long wick down. And I really kind of see that as manipulation to just kind of hit people's stop losses to get them out of the trade so that other people or you know, big whales and stuff can buy in really cheap. I mean, they pushed this down all the way to the 12.8 level when it was already down pretty far at first, and they had pushed that all the way down from almost 18,000, which is actually it was 18,000. That's a very significant drop for this coin to have a flash crash like that. Anyhow, I had drawn this this triangle here, and that's basically kind of the trend that we've been sitting in for quite some time now. This is on again a 4-hour chart. I don't really chart on less than a day or 4 hours, just so I can kind of get the bigger picture of things. Our 200 MA that is acting as resistance right now. So this is generally, obviously, has been in a bearish trend for quite some time. I'll go ahead and take that off real quick. Can't see the button. There it is. All right, so go ahead and take that off, just kind of clear up the chart a little bit. And what's interesting to notice is we had come down below. This is this fib measurement, by the way, is off of just this wave up from our last bottom to our most recent high. And what's interesting to notice is that when we have come back down, we've been really using, again, this 618, this golden zone area as a support like most of the altcoins have. So it's no different here. Right now, we have a doji forming. Let me do one of these numbers. Right now, we have, it looks like this wants to form a doji. But right now, we've been bouncing around in this triangle. And, you know, if you want to call it a pizza slice, a descending pizza slice or whatever, I really have hopes for this to break upwards. I think that we're going to come down one last time to test this area right around here in the next day or two, which would obviously be making this stock do a sharp nosedive like this point right here. We're going to come down. And that's going to cross, and then I think once we come back up, I think we're not going to break down further with this. I think that we're going to end up breaking up out of this triangle. We're in a really good area of strong bullish and bearish volume. There seems to be more bullish volume at these levels than bearish. But if we do end up breaking down at this level at the 17.2 range, then I do see us coming down further for a possible retest down here of the 16.5, 16.7 range. So in terms of Zcash, I honestly would place my first target as a swing. This would be maybe a longer term target. I'd probably put mine at about up here at around 18.4. My second, I would be wanting to see 20K up here, which isn't, you know, that far fetched considering where we've come from in the bigger picture of things. I think that that's a pretty reasonable, you know, mid to longer term target up here. So that's what I got for Zcash. Moving on, let's go ahead and take a look at the chat coin. And chat coin has been doing pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to do here. We had this really big, you know, just kind of bullish flag here where we came up and we've been bouncing around in this little channel. And now, you know, we're starting to head back up again. In our private Discord group, we had made a call somewhere around here before we broke out of this channel, and it's been really solid so far. We came up and we almost tested the 6.18, which actually hit one of our targets. This candle hit one of our targets, but honestly, I'm really looking forward to this going up further. The stock still has a lot more room, in my opinion, to come up, as well as the RSI does. And this zone has definitely been acting as resistance thus far. Up here, it was kind of acting as support. We were kind of range trading in here. There was this really, big pennant right here that we were in for a while, and then we broke down. And when we came back up to start forming this bull flag, I think that we have not yet completed that. I think that we're going to come up a little further here in the next couple days, but only time will tell with that. I think we entered somewhere around 300, somewhere around here. I think it was one of these candles in here that we had entered on, and that ended up being a pretty decent trade. I would love to see my second target would definitely be up here in this golden zone. We might just wick it, but that's definitely where I would place like like a resting take profit order or something, because as we start getting more up into these levels, there starts to be a little more bear pressure up here. So this is right about even at these two levels right here between like the 330s and the 350s. There seems to be a little more bear pressure in there, but I still think that over time this is going to have room to go up. We might be using this, what is this, the 0.5 fib at 315. We might be using this as support for a little bit, but in general, I think over the next couple days there might be some pretty good profits to still yet be taken off of this. So moving on yet again, and I'm trying to keep these relatively short, guys. I know that a lot of people are pressed for time, and most people don't have time to be watching 20, 30, 40 minute long, sometimes hour long videos of analysis and stuff. So I just try to give you guys a quick overview of what's going on. Another thing that I wanted you to notice was the main reason why I think that this is still going to be going up is, if you see here, this 55 EMA had just crossed above the 200, which is a very, very bullish sign to me. So I think that now that both of these lines, the 200 and the 55, are acting as support, that this definitely is going to have room to go up, because once at first it was resistance and we broke through that and started forming this this little channel here, and now it's going to be acting as support as we continue our way upwards. So moving on, let's go ahead and take a look at OST. OST, obviously you can see that it's kind of funny, really, if you keep looking back. The 200 MA has been acting as strong resistance all the way down from this point and beyond. It's basically been in a downtrend almost the entire time, except for these short little pops that we've had. We came up, we couldn't stay above it, came down, poked through it again, rejected here. Then the 55 EMA kept rejecting us. We whipped through it a lot up here. Finally, we broke through it, but we couldn't stay there. There wasn't enough bull power here. We fell back down, rejected again. And then finally, once the 55 EMA had crossed under to act as support, that's finally when we start getting this nice little uptrend right here. This is, I think, part of a 5-wave sequence. I see us maybe coming down just a tad before continuing upwards. But as yet again, this 200 MA has been really, really just making us hard pressed to kind of just see levels above that, even though there's so much, bullish power up here. It's about equal in terms of this level right here between bearish and bullish pressure. So let me go ahead and turn that off, turn these on. In terms of fib levels, what we're seeing right now is that, again, this 0.5 fib, which oddly enough is right at 500, has been acting as support, which was previously resistance almost all the way through here. But that is a good sign. However, I do think that we're going to be retracing a bit. I see us coming down to retest the 465, 450-ish level in here. Before continuing back up, just so that the stock and the RSI can kind of reset itself a little bit. But a longer term target for me on this would definitely be in the 580 range up here to test the 786 level. Let's see. Let's go ahead and turn this on. That's another thing that I want to bring attention to is I like to use the parabolic SAR as an indicator as well, because it kind of gives you a general overview of what the trend is within the waves. And obviously right now this is a massive wave up. So until we start getting wicks down here to touch this level, there won't be any overhead dots symbolizing that there's a major downtrend happening. So always keep an eye on that. Let's see, moving on. And this is my last coin that I'm going to do today, is I want to go ahead and take a look at Nano. Nano has been doing extremely well since basically the middle of the month, just a couple days back here, and we've just been getting a really nice uptrend. Obviously we're correcting here a little bit, but it's really not too big of a deal. Most of us had entered around this range here after we had broken through this resistance level, which I now turned green because it is now acting as support, if you notice that over here. And I labeled our next resistance level, which you can tell we've barely broken above and been able to stay there. So let me go ahead and exit that. Anyway, I see our first target here after we reset just a little bit. The stock is going to come down, and we're going to cross bearishly here in a little bit. I think maybe the next day or possibly even tonight. But I definitely see our first target being back up here again, at this at this 382 level, around the 4,000 range. I definitely think that we're going to see that range again, considering where we came from back in late August. So I think that overall this is just part of one bigger trend. I think that right now what we're in the process of is finishing this really long, elongated, like extended fifth wave down. And right now we're getting our ABC correction upwards in terms of the larger trend here. If you go ahead and take this off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and now we're getting our A, B, C up. I can go ahead and label that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to go ahead and get our A, B, C. So I think that longer term, our C is probably going to end us up somewhere over here. I could be wrong on this, but right now in terms of the day chart, if you break this down, you can definitely, get another ABC correction inside this, an ABC into the B. And I definitely see a 5-wave sequence starting to form here into this C. So it would be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something of that nature. The 4 would probably end up being up here. So my first target that I would want to see is definitely getting back into this 5250 range, somewhere in there, 5400 or something, 5340. That would be the nice next range to be completing overall in the bigger picture of things at this 5-wave sequence up here. Into the C wave of the larger trend. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that, but short term my target is like we just need to break this 4,000 level. This has been acting as some pretty strong resistance, so as long as we can get into this range, into the 4,000 range, and turn that into support, I think that we'll definitely be able to start making our larger moves up here into this territory back to where we came from. All right, guys, that's really all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the quick analysis and I gave you guys a nice quick cut and dry overview of everything that's been going on. So make sure to like and subscribe for all of the updates that I do, and check out the educational series that I have on my other playlist in my channel. And if you need to get a hold of me, always you can get a hold of me in the comments down below, and you can also contact me via email, which is linked on my Twitter page, which is also in the description down below. Any information that you would need about joining our paid Discord group, you can find on our website at tcpmedia.org, and you can also DM me directly for any information that you can't find on our website related to that. Have a nice day, guys, and happy trading.